Hello. Hi students. Good morning. Good morning to everybody. Department of Collegiate and Technical Education, Department of Automobile Engineering, Design of Machine Elements. The subject, Design of Machine Elements, that is DME subject. This is the subject which is for 5th semester Diploma in Automobile Engineering. So here this is the first chapter, that is Introduction to Machine Design, unit number 1. So now let us see what are the contents in first chapter. So what are the contents? Let us see. So here there are so many contents like definition of machine design, classification of machine design, general consideration in machine design, general procedure of machine design, and finally test, that is MCQs. MCQs means multiple choice questions. So here now first content, that is definition of machine design. So now I am going to define the definition of machine design. What do you mean by machine design? What do you mean by machine? What do you mean by machine design? So now let us start. So first of all, machine design or design of machine elements. So machine design can also be called as design of machine elements. So machine is nothing but it is a device. Say for example, I will take an example, that is screw jack. So screw jack is almost which is used for lifting the load that can be placed below the chassis member for the while removing the punctures or while removing the tires from the vehicle itself. So by applying little effort, we can lift the heavy more load from that. So such a type of device is called as machine. Okay, understand? So now design means is elements. So elements are nothing but there are so many elements. So say for example, it may be a bolt, it may be a nut, it may be a gear wheel, it may be a flange, it may be a gears, it may be a joints, it may be a brackets, it may be a chunks. Okay, so there are lot of elements are there. Okay, so now the definition of machine elements. So now I am going to discuss about the definition of machine elements. So why it is, how it is defined. So now according to book definition, the subject machine design is the creation of new and better machines by improving the existing ones with more economical in overall cost of production and operation. The process of design is a long and time consuming one. One who works under design should have good knowledge of different engineering subjects like mathematics, engineering mechanics, strength of materials, theory of machines, workshop technology, engineering drawing, etc. So this is the actual definition which is available in the textbook. But actually I am going to define it as, in general, it is a subject which deals with the planning, construction and analysis of machine elements. So this is the actual definition of the machine design. Once again I am going to repeat it. Machine design is nothing but it is the subject which deals with the planning, construction and analysis of machine elements. So these are the three parameters which are included in machine design. So planning means first we have to plan it before constructing any material, before constructing any element or machine. First we have to plan it. So that process is called as planning. So after that, construction. After the planning, we will carry it for construction. After the construction, we will analyze it. Okay, so these are all the three processes, that is, first one is planning, construction and analysis. So here the machine design, so that's why it is called as machine design. So machine design means machine design is a subject which deals with planning, construction and analysis of the machine elements. So this is the actual definition of the machine design. So next Machine design elements. So elements are so many things. Elements, it may be a screw, it may be a nut, it may be a bolt, it may be a bracket, it may be a chain, it may be a rope, it may be a gear wheel, it may be a joints, or it may be a riveted joint. There are so many things which are available in our machinery elements. Okay, so say for example, I am going to take an example, a nut. That nut and bolts that can be used for connecting the two parts. So that for constructing the nut and bolt, a knowledge of machine design is must. So at that time, while constructing the nut and bolts, we are going to apply the knowledge of the machine design. So whenever you are going to manufacturing a gear wheel, at that time also you are going to use the knowledge of machine design. Say for example, shafts. Whenever you are going to construct the shaft, or whenever you are going to manufacture the shafts, we are going to apply the knowledge of the machine design. Okay, so for what purpose we are going to use the gears? So mostly gears are used in our automobile vehicles, that too in gearbox. So next, shafts are used to connect the two elements. Shafts are used in automobile vehicles, shafts are used in machineries, and shafts are used in industries. So for constructing the gear wheel, or it may be shaft, we are going to apply the knowledge of the design, machine design. So for example, you can take an example, belt, rope, or chains. These are also called as the machine elements which are used to transmit the power from one end to the other end. Say for example, belts, ropes, so or chains. So chains, belts or ropes, these are also the one kind of the machine elements which are used to transmit the power from one end to the other end. Here also we are applying the machine design knowledge. So joints, like it may be welding joints or it may be a riveted joints. So welding joints. So welding joints are nothing but the two plates are welded together. So such joint is called as welding joint. So riveted joints. So riveted joints means the joints, the two plates are joined by means of the rivets. So such joints are also called as the elements. So whenever we are joining the two plates by welding method, we can apply the knowledge of machine design. So whenever you are going to join the two plates by means of rivets, at that time also we are going to apply the knowledge of the machine design. So here we can calculate how much load is applied on welding joint, and hence how the joints are to be joined. So these are all covered in machine design. So say for example, we are going to construct we are going to join the two parts or two plates. At that time we can calculate, so how much load is acting upon such plates, at that time how it is going to be welded. So such a knowledge is called as machine design knowledge. So that in this subject, first we will plan it. Next, what we have to plan it? First we have to plan it how to manufacture or make a machine or a element. After planning it, we will start to construct it. When the machine or element is constructed, we will analyze it. So henceforth, the machine design definition is like this. So machine design is the subject which deals with the planning, construction and analysis of the machine elements. So while constructing the joints, say for example, if you can take the joints, like it may be a knuckle joint. So I think you might have heard the knowledge of knuckle joints. So knuckle joints are used in bicycles as well as the motorcycles, or sometimes they are also used in railways. So to connect the two bogies, we are going to use the knuckle joint. So at that time we have to think it, how much load is acting upon such joint. So on that basis only we are going to start the construction of the knuckle joints. So such joints are used to connect the two bogies of the railway system. At that time, first we will plan it, after that we will construct it, after that we will analyze it. So these are all the parameters which are covered in machine design. So such knowledge is called as machine design knowledge. And also what type of force is going to be applied on such joints. So these are all covered in machine design knowledge. So whenever the shaft is constructing, so suppose if you are going to start the manufacture of the shaft, so at that time what we have to do? So mainly the things are, we have to calculate D value. D means diameter of the shaft is going to be considered. Diameter of the shaft is going to be calculated first. So after that we have to calculate the length of the shaft. So what type of length of the shaft is required, and what type of diameter of the shaft is required. So that we have to think it. So design means calculation of the main dimensions. So that is very important. Design means calculation of main dimensions. Either it may be diameter of the shaft, or it may be the length of the shaft. So this knowledge is called as what? Machine design knowledge. So that totally machine is nothing but, machine is composed of so many elements. In general, finding the different parameters like diameter, length, etc. are important. Say for example, a shaft, D can be calculated and L can be calculated. D means here diameter of the shaft, and L means here length of the shaft, and what type of material is going to be used. So these are all the necessary happenings in the machine design. So take an example, another example, that is gear wheel. While constructing a gear wheel or manufacturing a gear wheel, diameter is very important. Diameter of the gear wheel is important, and how many teeth are required to construct the gear wheel, that is also very important factor. So these are all questions will arise in this machine design knowledge. Okay, so that design means finding of basic parameters before manufacturing an element. So according to the book definition, machine design is the creation of new and better machines by improving the existing ones with more economical in overall cost of production and operation. The process of design is a long and time consuming one. One who works under design should have good knowledge of different engineering subjects like mathematics, engineering mechanics, strength of materials, theory of machines, workshop technology, and engineering drawings, etc. So while designing a machine or element, the designer should have technical knowledge. He should have the knowledge of the subject like mathematics. The designer should know the knowledge of mathematics. The designer should know the knowledge of mechanics. The designer must know the knowledge of strength of materials, and he should know the properties of different materials, and he should know the knowledge of theory of machines, and he should know the workshop technology, and also the designer must know the drawing skills. Okay, so these are all the necessary knowledge which are covered in machine design, so that the good designer is a key person of the enterprise or a factory or a firm. Or in other words, it is defined as, or in general we can define the machine design, or in some other way we can define it as the use of imagination of scientific principles and engineering techniques to create a machine or a structure economically in order to satisfy the requirements of customer, machine design is the first step involved in creation of the subject. So now I am going to discuss about the classification of machine design. So what are the classification of machine design and how many types of the machine design? So let us understand. Mainly there are three types of the machine design. They are called as adaptive design. Second one is the development design. Third one is the new design. So these are all the kinds of machine design, or these are all the types of machine designs. So here first one is the adaptive design. So in first type of the design, it what it tells actually, it needs no special knowledge or skill and can attend by ordinary technical training. The work of designer is concerned with adaptation of existing design with minor alteration or modification. So next, coming to discuss about the development design, it needs a scientific training and design ability in order to modify existing design into a new idea by adopting different methods of manufacture with new material. And third one is the new design. Last one is the new design. It needs a lot of research, technical ability and creative thinking with personal qualities of sufficient high order. One can take up the work of new design. So this is the actual classification of the machine design. So here for the first design, that is adaptive design. So as the name indicates that it tells it as adaptive design. Adaptive is nothing but it is already existed or it is already adopted it. That's why it is called as adaptive design. So for this design, no more skill is required. Only little bit changes are maybe made. Okay. Oh, the old process or the previous design should be continued in this type of design. Such a type of design is called as adaptive design. Once again I am going to repeat it. In this design, no any alterations will be made. Only little bit changes are going to be made here. So here no skill is required, no more skill is required. Only ordinary persons, they may attend the design work. Okay. So here previous records or previous design, the same thing is going to be repeated. So such a type of design is called as adaptive design. So next one is development design. So here in this design, it needs scientific training and design ability in order to modify existing design into a new idea by adopting different methods of manufacture with new material. So here development design is nothing but, so the design is already existed, but we have to develop it. So we have to change it. So we have to change the design process from the previous one. So here it needs a scientific training. So it requires a lot of knowledge. It requires a design skill. It requires ability to do the modification of the existing design for bringing the new shape of the machine. That's why it is called as development design. So as the name indicates, development design, somewhat development is going to be made on such a design. Such a type of design is going to be called as development design. So now I am going to discuss about the last one is, that is third one of the machine design classification, that is new design. So here it needs a lot of research, technical ability and creative thinking with personal qualities of sufficient high order. One can take up the work of new design. So new design is nothing but it needs a lot of research. So lot of research. So here it requires a lot of research. So the technically sound professionality is required here, and technical ability is required here, and creative thinking is required here, and personal qualities of sufficient high knowledge is required to do the new design. One can take up the work of new design. So then only it is possible to do the next new design. So these are all the types of the types of the machine design. So now in the first adaptive design, I am going to give an example. It may be a pen, it may be a bicycle, it may be a diesel engine, or it may be a screwdriver. So these are all the kinds of the examples of the adaptive design. So no more changes are made here. Whenever you are going to manufacture, little bit changes are made. We can change the shape of the token, or we can change the shape of the lead. We can change the outer cover of the pen itself, like this. Or it may be a screwdriver. Screwdriver, there is no need to change more changes on it, because it is having a screwdriver handle, and it is having a long chunk of steel material. So only the thing is to change the length of the screwdriver. Is going to be made shorter or longer, or thicker or lesser thicker. Like this we have to think it. So little bit knowledge is required for this design. This type of design is called as adaptive design. So for the next, development design. So development design, so here in this case, though the designer starts from the existing designs, but the final product may be different remarkably from the original product. So this design needs considerable scientific training and design ability. Designer needs a scientific training and design ability in order to modify the existing design into a new idea. By adopting new material or different methods of manufacturing, the final product may be different from original product. Say for example, I am going to give an example: electronic devices. Either it may be a computer, or it may be a smartphone, or it may be a tape recorder, or it may be a TV sets, or it may be motorcycles and modified cars and motorcycles. So these are all the examples of the development design. So now last one is a new design. So it needs lot of research, technical ability and creative thinking with personal qualities of sufficient high order. One can take up the new design. It is entirely different from the existing one. From all the aspects, it is known as new design. So here in this design, a component or product is made from scratch, so that designer in this type must have complete knowledge of designing. This is one of the most complicated design. Such a design is called as new design. For example, I am going to give an example about such a design, that is new design. It may be a solar point, or it may be a power plant, or it may be a tidal point, or it may be a tidal power plant, or it may be a 3D printer, or it may be a 3D wheel alignment gauges. Okay, so now again machine design is again classified into so many groups only on the basis of methods. But actually here in this slide I have not shown. Yes, it may be machine design further classified on the basis of methods such as rational design, empirical design, industrial design, system design, element design, optimum design. So these are all the classification of the machine design. Only they are made on the basis of methods. So first one is the rational design. So rational design is nothing but what? The design is based on mathematical formula and principle of mechanics. So principle of mechanics, on the basis of principle of mechanics and on the basis of mathematical formula, this is dependent. So such a type of design is going to be called as rational design. So next coming to discuss about, that is second one, empirical design. So empirical design means the design is based on empirical formulae, based on practice or past experience. So empirical formula is nothing but what? So you might have heard, you can use it. Some of the, for example, while designing the shaft, for the length of the shaft, you can take it as 2D, 3D, L is equal to 2D, L is equal to 3D, L is equal to 4D, like this you can take. So such type of 2D, 3D, the parameters are called as what? Empirical formulae. So such a type of design is called as empirical design. So once again I am going to repeat it. Empirical design is nothing but the design is based on empirical formula. Empirical formula means either it may be 2D or it may be 3D, 2D, 3D, 4D, like this. So number with letters, that is main dimensions. Such a type of formulae are called as empirical formula. On that basis it is dependent, and this type of design is going to be continued only on the practice and on the past experience. What we did earlier, on that experience only we can do the design. Such a type of design is called as what? Empirical design. Okay, so now coming to discuss about the industrial design. So industrial design is nothing but it is related to industry. So the design is based on production aspect to manufacture any machine component in industries. So such a type of design is called as industrial design. So it is related to industry only. So next I am going to discuss about the system design. So system design is nothing but, say for a system is nothing but it is a mechanical complex of mechanical system. Either it may be a motor car, or it may be a motorcycle, or it may be a computer. So that system is called as what? Design. We are going to design on these devices or machines. Such a type of design is called as what? System design. So next one is the element design. So element design is nothing but what? It depends upon the design of any element, mechanical system like piston, crankshaft, connecting valve, etc. Say for example, we are going to use the elements like piston, crankshaft, connecting rod, liners, okay, valves, chains. So these are all the kinds of the elements. So on that basis or on that particular elements we are going to do the design. Such a type of design is called as element design. And last one is the optimum design. It is best design for the given objective, function under the specified constraints. It may be achieved by minimizing the undesirable effects. So here these are all the types of the designs which are made on the basis of methods. Okay, so next I am going to I'm going to discuss about the design consideration in machine design. So now I will go, yes, so that is topic number 1.3, general consideration in machine design. So here, while design any part of machine, various features must be considered based on the need. So first one is the type of load and stresses caused by the load. Second one is the motion. First one is the load and stresses. Second one is the motion, material selection. Next, size and shape. Next, friction and lubrication. Next, economical features. Next, use of standard parts. Next, safety. Next, workshop facility. And last one is the cost of construction. Other than these, still there are so many factors like manufacturing, assembly, life, thermal consideration, maintenance, corrosion, rigidity, weight, vibrations and noise. So these are all the general considerations in machine design. Now let us discuss one by one. So first one is the load and stress. So here the part of the machine should not fail which is acted by various load on it. The part of the machine should have sufficient strength to avoid failure due to the fracture or yielding. So the designer should know the load, what type of load is acting upon the machine part or machine element, so that he should know, then only the design will be success. Okay, so next coming to discuss about the second point, that is motion of the parts or kinematics of the machine. For successful operation, the machine depends largely upon the simplest arrangement of the parts which will give the required motion. It may be rectilinear motion or curvilinear motion, constant velocity and constant or variable acceleration. So here it means that, so for the motion the designer should know, so what type of action is going on while constructing the machine. Either it may be linear motion, or it may be a rectangular motion, or it may be a constant velocity, or it may be a constant or variable acceleration. So these are all the kinds of the actions or motions they are continued while constructing a material, while constructing a machine, or while constructing a machine element. So these are all the points to be considered while designing the machine elements. So such a type of consideration point is called as motion. So next I am going to discuss about the size and shape. So here size and shape, I am going to change the next slide. So here third one is the selection of material. Yes, this point is very important. So a designer should have thorough knowledge of properties of the material and their behavior under working conditions such as strength, durability, flexibility, weight, resistance to heat or heat and corrosion, ability to cast, welded or hardened, machinability, electrical conductivity, etc. So here the person or the designer should know the properties of material first. So what kind of material is going to be used for constructing the element or machine. So at that time he has to select a very good material, then only the product will be shine in the market and it gives durability. So a designer should have thorough knowledge of the properties of material. He should know the very good knowledge about the properties of the material and its behavior under working condition, whether the material is going to be failure or not. So whether the such a type of material is going to sustain a load and a temperature and a pressure while during the process of the construction of the machine elements. So he has to think all these factors or all these consideration points. So such a type of consideration point is called as selection of material. Anyhow, the designer should select a very good material before it is going to carry for the construction. Okay, so next fourth point is size and shape. So here in the modern trends we are going to give the more importance about the shape. Outlook is to be designed in good mood and outlook should be designed in very fashionable mood. So at that time the designer should think it. So what type of shape is going to be made on the constructing machine or element, and what type of size is going to be given to the machine parts before it is going to be constructed. So here, in order to design any machine part for form and size, it is necessary to know the forces and stresses induced in the designed cross section or reasonably shaped. So here for forces and stresses are very important considerable points. So the designer should think it, what type of force is going to be acted, what type of stress is going to be acted on the element, at that time only what type of size is to be made. So like this he has to think it. So this is covered in this point number 4, that is size and shape. So next I am going to change the next side, that is 5th one, friction resistance and lubrication. So here friction, so whenever you are going to rubbing the two parts each other, at that time the heat will be generated. Such action is going to be called as what? Friction. So this is the basic thing, so everybody knows it. So here there is always a loss of power due to the friction, and the friction is higher during start rather than running. So lubrication is very essential for all the surfaces which move in contact with the others. So here the power is going to be lost only due to the friction. So because while constructing the machine, while operating the machines are both machines and both parts are rubbing to each other, and definitely heat will be produced. Such action is going to be called as friction. So that friction is to be resisted by a applicant. Such applicant or an agent is called as what? Lubricant. So the application of the lubricant is called as what? Lubrication. So such a point is very considerable point. So such point is called as what? Friction resistance and lubrication. So the designer should think it, for resisting the friction he has to apply what kind of lubrication or what kind of lubricant is to be applied. So such point is very important, considerable points. So next coming to discuss about convenient economical feature. So this point is also very important for designing. In designing, the operating features of machine such as starting, controlling and stopping levers should be located on the basis of convenient handling. So in designing the operating features, so here after the construction it should be operated in easy mode. So whenever you are going to use any machine or any device or any element, it should be operated in easiest mode. So at that time only it should be user friendly. So then only he has to think it before constructing the machine elements. The designer should know all these things. This point is applicable, that is convenient and economical feature. And use of standard parts. So while designing or while constructing the any element or any machine, he has to use the standard parts. So the designer should use the standard parts for manufacturing any material, for manufacturing any machine or machine element. He has to use the new standard parts. So here the use of standard parts is closely related to the cost, because the cost of standard or stock part is only a fraction of the cost, is similar to the parts made by the order. Okay, so this is about use of standard parts. Anyhow, the designer should use the standard parts for manufacturing any item. And last 8th one is safety of operation. So this is very important factor that should be considered, because some machines are very dangerous in operation mode. At that time we have to provide some safety guards, we have to provide some attachments like fencing, okay, and insulated guards like this. So here we have to give the provision for the safety of operation of the machine or machine elements. So some machines are dangerous to operate, especially those which are speeded up to ensure production at maximum rate. Therefore it is necessary to provide safety devices for the safety of the operator by the designer. So this provision should be given by the designer. He has to think it what type of safety is to be given for the operation of the machine or element before it is going to be constructed. So next, workshop facility. So workshop facility, a design engineer should be familiar with the limitation of his employer's workshop. It is necessary to plan and supervise the workshop operation and draft methods for casting, handling, machining special parts. So workshop facilities. So the designer should know the availability or facility of the workshop, so that I am going to start or I am going to manufacture such a type of component or such a type of element in the factory. So at that time, whether the facility concerned to this is available in our workshop, that he has to think it first. That is designer. So the designer is held responsible for all this, because if the facility is available in our firm or factory, at that time only he can take the decision to do the work or to construct the such a type of element or such a type of machine in our factory. So he has to think it, that is workshop facility. This point is also going to be considered for a machine design. And last one is cost of production. So this is very important factor to be considered while designing. So that is cost of construction. The aim of design engineer under all condition should be to reduce the manufacturing cost to the minimum, because our Indian mentality, how it is, always we are thinking to minimum price. So whenever you are going to purchase a pen, or whenever you are going to purchase a new item in the market, so we have to think it. So what is the cost? So we are always thinking to purchase a minimum cost of the element or a machine in the market. So okay, on that basis only the designer should think it. So the aim of the design engineer or the aim of the designer has to think it under all condition should be reduced. He has to reduce the minimum manufacturing cost to the minimum. So these are all the points to be considered in machine design. So once again I am going to repeat all the points. So let us see here. So load and stresses, motion, material selection, size and shape, friction and lubrication, economical features, use of standard parts, safety, workshop facility, cost of construction. So these are all the points to be considered in machine design. So next I am going to continue in the next design in the next session. I am going to continue in the next session from general procedure of machine design. So what is the general procedure of the machine design, how it is going to be done. So these are all the points to be covered in the next session, and we will see the different types of the questionnaires, different types of the questions in this chapter. So let us discuss one by one. We will see to the next session. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. So from the in the next session I will discuss further contents. So at that time the whole chapter, that is introduction to machine design unit number, will complete. So now 50% of the syllabus of the introduction to machine design unit number 1 just it is completed. So let us next session we will see the further contents. Okay, thank you.